Always wondered during what phase of a person's life does he or she stop believing in Santa Claus?
Hey, Santa. Don't you think you're being too pushy? You should learn to take your time. If you hadn't believed in me, then I wouldn't have regained my true figure. So what do you think, Santa?
Hi there, everyone. Lars and Scott back, this time with a review and analysis of the first episode for My Santa.
Always my Santa.
Always my Santa.
This is like if Hallmark and early 2000s anime had a baby and it was a very ugly baby. Okay.
Yes.
It's not great.
Frollo tried to murder this baby, but died in the process from sheer shock.
Exactly. Oh man, and I talked about this last year because it's part of my kind of anime Christmas tradition around this time of year. There's a couple of different anime that I watch specifically. Always My Santa is one of them. It's mainly just for the laughs and just to cringe a little bit because it's just I'm not an angsty teen anymore. I've definitely matured past that stage. No matter what situation I'm going through in Christmas this year, good or bad, it's still a lot better than this.
Yes, and you know that your heart is still beating because of the cringe.
Cringe. Oh man,
because you're squirming so uncomfortably. The heart just starts pounding even faster. It's like, God, you're getting a little bit of a workout watching.
Oh man. So for those of you who haven't seen Always My Santa, let's kind of run down what happens. So you've got this lonely, angsty, I think he's actually college age, not high school age, but
he's like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, and so instead of just moping at home, he's out wandering around, just killing time for the most part. And this random girl with this little chibi reindeer hanging off her shoulder just practically assaults him. She's just like, I can tell you're unhappy and it's my job to get in your face and make you happy this Christmas because everybody else is happy and you deserve to be happy too. And I'm just like, I would not get along with this girl. I do not get along with people like that. And he just wants to get away from her, and she's just like, no, I gotta make you believe in the power of Christmas. And she actually does have Christmas powers, namely she's a Santa Claus in training, and she can create and make things happen that start with san, and which a lot of it's based around Japanese words that start with san, but she's also starting samba lines out of nowhere. She's creating a whole ton of fish that in Japanese are called sanma. Just a lot of crazy wacky things happen just right off the bat there, and he's just like, I just want to get away.
He's like, I just want to enjoy, or actually not so much enjoy. I want to just go back to my apartment, curl up in a ball, and then whine that I exist because I was born on Christmas Eve, or was it Christmas? No, he's born on Christmas Day, and he's named Santa.
Yeah, no, it reveals that his entire life is ruined because his parents are never home and he was named Santa and everybody's laughing at him because of it, and just have this crazy girl causing issues for him. Well, they end up going back to his place, and for some reason she ends up in the shower. I don't fully understand why she ended up there, but
she did throw a lot of fish at
that's why.
So
that's why they have a heart to heart. She tries to make him a party and Christmas dinner, and you find out she's a terrible cook, and
those projectile vomits.
Yes. Lasers coming out of their mouth. Anyway, then she's like, well, you're starting to get some of the Christmas power back. Let me show it to you kind of idea. So she kisses him, shares some of her happiness, Christmas powers or whatever. And he gets this magic phone call from his senpai he's got a crush on, inviting him over to her place. And so he brushes off the Santa Claus in training to run to his senpai's house, find out they're throwing a annual Christmas birthday party for him that he never showed up for, even though they invited him. and because he's a mopey, angsty teenager. But he finds out, like, no, he was a jerk to mine. He needs to go back and find her. So he goes back and finds her and ends up relighting her Christmas powers. And then he gets to go save Christmas with her and deliver all these gifts and find out that his parents have secretly been running an orphanage. And that's why they can never actually see him, but they still love him, even though they're keeping a whole lot of weird secrets from him.
Yeah.
And then, like, they go back to, like, saving Christmas and whatnot and flying around in the sleigh. And Christmas ends. He goes home. Next morning, Mai shows back up again because she lost all her Christmas powers, and now he's got to take care of her. And I'm like, what kind of deranged Christmas-obsessed writer came up with this? Like, they must have been high.
I feel like whoever wrote this might have really wanted to do a Christmas special for Sailor Moon and just never had the opportunity, because when Mai turns into Santa, it's a magical girl transformation moment complete with naughty bits, and you're like, wow, really? Wow.
I mean, and I've seen, like, especially anime from that time period, from like the early 2000s. I've seen quite a few of them. I mean, they'll have their, like, stereotypical beach or like hot spring episode, but they'll also have like a Christmas episode for some random reason. And some of those can be like really fun. This one, it's like all of those Christmas anime episodes combined into one, and they didn't know where to stop.
Yeah, and just how insane over the top. So here's the thing: Mai's ability to only generate presents that begin with san is actually like a fun idea for like a power that has some limitations and everything to it. If you were to have a proper series of these two getting to know each other, developing a relationship, and she's always trying to use her powers to help him out, that would be a really fun OP power with a hilarious limitation to it.
Yeah.
That you could use for all these different kinds of shenanigans and scenarios. The thing is that this one special tries to, as you say, cram all of that on into there, and so part of the humor of her power, it is quickly glossed over, and it just becomes an absolute overload of insanity without reason. You just start laughing at it because it's so bad.
I mean, and if you want to like have a fun, like really well thought out, like Christmas themed power set, look to there's a manga called Sonda by the same author that does Beastars. That is a fun, like, Christmas inspired, like heavily inspired, because it's not actually like all about Christmas. It's more about like Santa and this like weird future that, like, they don't want Santa to exist, but Santas do exist. And like this high school boy finds out he's got the powers to become Santa Claus and have all of Santa's like crazy powers. It's a fun one.
Getting an anime.
It is getting. Oh, that's gonna be. We're gonna have to talk about that one.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to talk about that one. That one's gonna be fun, but that one takes the time to actually like create a proper story, have proper characters, actually do a bunch of world building for like the powers and why Santa and like these, like, this stuff is happening and exists. This one is just like this is just a different interpretation of how Santa gets around the world and what powers that.
And here's the thing: if you took this kind of silliness and insanity and dropped it into a kid's story, where it's basically like, hey kid, we're going to help you rediscover the meaning of Christmas, and the Santa in training is going to help you out, it would work out really well. The problem is that this is also trying to be a rom-com rather than just be like a fun kid's Christmas story. So we get the rom-comness thrown on in there, the unnecessary angstiness thrown on in there, so many tropes that don't need to be in there, such as for like episode 2, it's not episode 1, but like there's a beach there's a beach moment, the obligatory beach moment, running into the delinquents, the army of delinquents for no good reason.
Mhm.
The massive food scene, like or going to the arcade, randomly running into idols. All the tropes, they don't need to be in there. It just clutters everything up. There's actually a great premise to be used, but this is not the right story for it. And so it's
Mhm.
just, it's such a mess.
Nor is it the right characters, and I've seen the same setting used in Hallmark a fair number of times, or like ABC Family kind of stuff, where they're like, oh, like the Christmas power is waning, so somebody from the North Pole has to go down and try and like liven up the Christmas spirit so Santa has the power to do like the stuff they need to do. I've seen this setting before done in like a lot of Christmas movies like that. This, however, like takes that and goes in a completely different direction. And I think the biggest problem is the characters are just crap.
Yeah.
It doesn't give us enough of these characters other than the fact that one's like crazy over the top hyper and the other one's like super mopey and the world sucks just because my birthday's on Christmas. Like it's very flat one note characters.
Yeah. And man, yeah, there's no reason for Mai to like Santa. There's nothing redeemable about Santa in this story. There's no reason for me to want Santa to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know the one character who is truly likable, at least for me, is the leader of the delinquents.
Oh,
He actually has a reason.
So
he actually has a reason to be ticked off because he is going to treat all his bros to a delicious Christmas cake that he had ordered 3 months in advance.
Mm-hmm. Which in Japan, the Christmas cakes are one really good, two like a really big thing on Christmas. Like it's more likely to have a Christmas cake than it is, and KFC for that matter, than it is to have presents.
Holy cow! I did not know that. Yeah, so that makes it even more like, dude, Santa, you're a jerk, and you're even a bigger jerk for beating up on all these delinquents. Like they just want to have a nice Christmas, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not even sympathetic towards the heroes. I'm more sympathetic towards the antagonists in this.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, in some cases you can see they were trying to really push for like a wholesome note for this, but it's just buried under so much other crap that like it's hard to like actually pull like the real wholesome moments from it. Like you can definitely tell it's like, oh well, like his parents do love you, they do really try to like connect with him like through phone call, but like you can tell all of their money's going to fund this secret orphanage for whatever reason.
Yeah,
That like they're not even bothered to explain or tell him about, because like that would be something you would actually like talk to your son about, is like, hey, this is why we can't come. Instead, they like keep it a complete secret and just keep him in the dark. And I'm like, no wonder this kid has issues. Like his parents have been like gaslighting him about this like every single year his entire life.
Well, and apparently his so-called friends have never invited him to. Actually, they say that they have.
No, they have. They just gave up because he never showed up.
Because he never showed up. Okay, because the way that I heard that was like, they're like, well, we've always told you, and I was just like, did they really? But then again, this kid's always moping about like, I was born on the 25th.
Like the kid's got bad like main character energy, and it's like all internalized. It's all about himself, and like in that sense, having this like kooky hyper chick show up to like completely break him out of that, that's not a bad thing. But it doesn't work out very well, and Mai just ends up getting hurt because of it.
Yeah, just there's just again coming back to it. It feels more like, rather than plot progression or character progression, And it was that they're like, okay, then we have so many minutes to fill. How many tropes can we fit in? Like the stealing of the phone, having a look at who your crush is, shower, meeting the delinquents, interrupting an Idols concert. Truck Coon makes an appearance but doesn't isekai anyone. There's just so much going on, and it feels like if you take the idea of authors being chefs and how as a chef you're supposed to take all these different elements and ingredients and try to whip up something new and refreshing, like even if, hey, chicken is chicken, but I'm going to do something interesting with this chicken. And you want a tiki chicken masala? I'm going to give you tiki chicken masala, but with with an extra kick or something you weren't expecting. Ooh, it's still chicken. Chicken is chicken. However, when watching Always My Santa, it's like someone asked, "Hey, can you make us like a Christmas goose?" And this person said yes, and then looked and saw that they had all these ingredients in the kitchen and decided that the goose needed everything that they could grab without any rhyme or reason. So not only do you have your Christmas goose, but there's some mint. Okay, odd but interesting. There's a heaping amount of paprika. Okay, I guess. And now here come noodles. Okay, here's some cabbage. Ooh, cabbage does go well with goose. And now broccoli. Okay, and on top of that, I'm just going to pour milk. No, why are you doing that? And then here's some shavings of licorice, and here's just a whole heaping helping of uncured vanilla. You're just like, no, you've ruined it. And that's kind of what this is.
Oh man. But I think part of the reason I originally found this, because there was a point in my high school years I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look up the worst anime I can find, and that's how I found Kuni Kuni Poemi. But this was another one because it was ranked so freaking low on the list, and I'm like, I've got to give this a try. I just need the laugh, and I got the laugh. Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
Was it worth it?
Because on my anime list right now, it's ranked a 5.8 out of 10.
It's not as bad as some.
Yeah, it's not as bad as some, but it's still pretty bad.
I mean, if there's any other positive thing to potentially say about this, you can tell that at least the American voice actors are giving this as much attention as it should, which is they know that this is bad, so they're being bad. It's not quite at the same level as Ghost Stories. But
it could be a lot more fun if they did go the Ghost Stories route.
Yeah, it would be hilarious if they went the Ghost Stories route. but at least they're not trying to be like Nicolas Cage being serious in something that is very clearly just over the top weird, and there's no rhyme or reason to it, and the voice acting comes across in that, especially whenever Mai says ho ho ho, you're just like, oh my gosh, why ho ho ho.
You know what we should do, and it might actually make it better.
What?
Is we get Zaza and JR and just a few people together, and we make an abridged of this.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I am down for that. I am down for that. We make that like a 2025 Christmas special.
Why not? That would be so much fun. We'll have to plan this out.
I can see this happening. After having manipulated frame by frame stuff for that time I married a goddess, I am definitely up for this.
All right. Well, I hope the original meanings behind this actually gets to people this time of year, though, because I mean, it's Christmas time, and like he's all mopey because he's not able to spend time together with his family. And I hope people are able to find the time to spend time with those they love, either if it's like your real family, if it's a found family, like anything along those lines. I hope that you can get away from all of the like commercialized parts of the holidays and just find some time to relax with the people you care about.
Mm-hmm. And take some time also sometimes for yourself. Like there's nothing wrong whatsoever having just a little bit of time to just kind of like seclude yourself away, like in your room or in your home, and just listen. And like, here's the thing: Christmas music, as much as we make fun of it, Christmas music is actually like really beautiful and has been scientifically proven to be good for your mental health. And so take some time, listen to the Christmas music that you yourself enjoy. Maybe you're not able to really have like a massive, beautifully decorated tree. Doesn't mean that you can't come up with some neat little decorations, do something nice for someone, come up with a little gift or a gift of service that you can do for someone else. Taking that time for yourself to just enjoy Christmas in your own way, and then do something good for someone else. Just it brings out the real spirit of the season. And definitely helps, because I know that a lot of people get seasonal depression around this time, and that's real, that's difficult, and Christmas shouldn't be a contributing factor. It should be a liberating factor, and it can be.
I agree. Well, I hope anybody who watched this can take a bit of inspiration into their writing and know what not to do.
Know what not to do. Sometimes you just need to know what not to do. You've got some great ideas, just don't make them like this. Or you can take this and you can make it a kid's story. I guarantee that if you had taken basically everything from Always My Santa and made it more of a kid's story, it would have worked way better.
or I could see them go in a different direction and kind of like hyping up and like going over the top of some stuff to make just an over the top kind of parody at the same time. But like, take it whatever direction you want.
You can do it. You're great authors. We believe in you. And we're not just saying that because it's Christmas. All right. So if you're looking for any more reviews, analyses, insights, writing advice, and the likes, then please check out our other videos here on our channel. And if you haven't already done so, we would love it if you subscribed. And if you'd like to especially support the work that we do, then please check out the books that we've published. The links are in the description. They also make great Christmas presents. Wink, wink. But with all that being said, thank you so much for joining us on this incredible adventure that we call writing. And to all of you, happy holidays wherever you are. And until the next video, tschüss.
Okini.
I wish happiness for you, Santa. And everyone, every other person in the whole world.